So we're reading Around the World in 80 Days. We've had an amazing adventure with Mr. Fogg, the butler, Inspector Fix, and the princess. They've now arrived back to London. He got arrested, but then Inspector Fix saw that there was actually a mistake. So we're now on the last chapter, chapter 6. So what's next for Mr. Fogg? Phileas Fogg did not show any sign of how he felt. He simply left the station with the butler and the princess and drove home. The next day he stayed in his room, adding up all of the money he had been spending. At 7 o'clock, Fogg visited the princess in her room. "Madame," he said sadly, "when I brought you to England, I planned to give you a fortune, but I'm afraid that's not possible." "My dear sir," the princess replied, "I don't want your money." "Do you want to marry me?" said Mr. Fogg, asking the princess. Fogg was overjoyed, and for the first time in his life he showed butler. He called, "Run to the church and book our wedding for tomorrow." Tomorrow? Monday morning? Meanwhile, Fogg's friends at his club had spent the last few days in fever of excitement. They had not heard a word from Fogg since he left on October the 2nd. On the evening of December 21st, they waited eagerly to see if he would show, and at the hand of the clock reached 8:44, they heard a knock on the door. "Here I am, gentlemen." It was Phileas Fogg in person. But how? How had he done it? Well, the butler had returned from the priest with incredible news. "Not Monday tomorrow," he gasped. "Tomorrow, Sunday. Today is Saturday." So going around the world to the east had gained Fogg an extra day. He'd had 10 minutes left to get to the club and win his bet. Fogg won £20,000, but as he spent nearly £19,000 on the way, he wasn't much better off. On the other hand, he did find a wife and happiness on the trip. Most people would go around the world for less. "I'm the happiest man in the world," said Mr. Fogg. And look. And here is Mr. Fogg's journey. Well, I hope you liked that story. If you could go around in the world in 80 days, where would you go? And what transport would you use? Let me know.